Hey everybody, I'm Coach Nichols. Wanted to record a quick video with you to pass along some information. Had the coaches meeting the other night, and I know there's probably some lingering questions, so hopefully knock all those out here and then pass on some things I think are important so that we can just jump right into practices and make the most of our time, because as you're well aware, the Virginia weather is unlikely to cooperate. We have a few practices on the schedule, but who knows how many we'll actually get in. As I said before in my email, we're an Air Force family. We're from Arizona originally. We've been out here about 2 years. It's our second season with Loudon South. We love it. We love the area. We love the community. We've really enjoyed it. For those that are new to the league, I think you're going to find the same thing. We're a baseball family through and through. I got my 10-year-old son, Catcher. He's been playing since he was 3. I started coaching then, and for those that have done travel ball, and there's so many seasons at that point, they all blend together. My 7-year-old Easton's jumping in this year, and I got a 4-year-old Maddox who's right behind them. See, that's my daughter. Now, like I said, we've been here for a little while, and so we're getting a good feel of the league. Some people know it better than we will. Now, and there's people that have been around for a long time, but there's also some that are brand new to the league. So as I pass along this information, it might be stuff you've heard before, but if not, bear with me and we'll press through. One thing I wanted to share with you is my coaching philosophy. Now, there's probably a lot of things that go into it, but I kind of narrowed it down to a few things that I think are important at both levels, the single A and triple A level. First, I think I know we can meet each and every player where they're at. At the AAA level and at the single A level, we're going to have some players that have been around the game for a long time. Maybe they have older brothers that have been around, and they've just been playing forever, and their game is polished. They're good. You guys have been playing for a long time, guys, and you're going to learn something at every single practice. There's other people that are brand new to the game, never played before, maybe never even had anyone in the family play, brand new to the game. You're going to learn something every practice. And so we can tailor each and everything we do to make each and every person better. So one of the philosophies I like to push is every single person is going to have an opportunity to get better with every single thing we do, meeting each player where they're at. I also believe it's important to get as many reps as possible. Repetition. Keeping players moving. That's why it's so important to have as many coaches as we can have, really. There's no shortage of drills and things that we can work on with players. And so if we can keep people moving, make the most of our time out on the practice field, that's going to go a long way to building a skill and getting excited about baseball. And then finally, we're going to come ready. The coaches are going to come ready. We're going to have a plan, and we're going to execute it each and every time we go out to practice, and each and every time we go out and play a game. Now, does that plan sometimes get crumbled upon, whether it be weather or only 5 kids show up or everyone shows up? Absolutely, but we're going to come prepared to really have a good time, but make the most of our time when it comes to practice. Now, that kind of leads me into some of my expectations when it comes to the players. We're going to come prepared. We're going to ask you to do the exact same thing. That means remember your hat, remember your glove, remember your bat, show up on time, and come ready and focused. Now, we also expect that you got to be a good teammate. Not being a good teammate's not going to be tolerated. So we're going to have 23 guys and one young lady here that are going to be outstanding teammates to one another, and that means being positive, picking people up, looking out for your fellow teammate. But it also means having good behavior. That means if you're throwing rocks or getting distracted, you're going to distract your teammates from whatever the objective is at that time. So focus. I promise there will be no shortage of fun, but being a good teammate means honing in on what coach is saying and then working hard and just trying. And what's going to happen is you're going to get really good. And what happens when you get really good at baseball? It gets really stinking fun. So come and have good behavior. And at the single A level, I can tell you whether the tempo of the practice, the attitude of the practice can really depend on maybe the players are hungry or tired. There's weird days at school. We'll adjust. We'll learn as we go the personalities of our players. But for my AAA players, guys, we're getting older. That means there's more responsibility. There's higher expectations. And so I'm going to hold you to those expectations, and you're going to be held accountable for it. And it doesn't mean, like I said, we're not going to have fun. We're going to have a blast. But it does mean that we're going to lay out some guidelines, and we expect you to follow them. So we'll talk more about that. You'll get a good feel about for about how me and Coach Marshall and Coach Brody work, and you're going to have a great time. So the bar is higher than it's ever been, and it's going to continue to get higher. And there'll be no exception when you're out there with us. Now, the other thing is playing time. A-ball, this won't come up. There's local rules that really help guide teams to make sure everyone's accounted for. I don't need local rules to make sure everyone has playing time. This is going to be a season where everyone's going to try new things. Every single game, they're going to bat in different places in the order. They're going to play different positions. We're going to challenge our A-ballers to do new things, and there will be no difference really. And as the season wears on, we'll begin to hone in on maybe specific positions people have interest in. And as we get more competitive, that you'll see that happening, but we'll stay open in communication the whole time. AAA, you're beginning to get a good feel for where you want to play. And so we're gonna help you build in that. We're probably gonna have a good feel for every piece of the field, but we're gonna start honing those skills in specific places that you've shown an interest. And so it'll be different. Everyone will get the playing time, and I don't ever see that being an issue. But what that looks like is going to be a lot different than maybe you've seen at the lower levels. Now, there's lots of things I'd like to accomplish during the season, but I have 3 specific things that I want our teams to do and our coaching staffs to hopefully build towards. And that's 1, and these are our goals. 1, prepare better than anyone. That means taking our practices, what few we'll end up having, and making the absolute most of them. Making sure we're not screwing around as coaches and not being prepared, but also making sure we're holding our players accountable to moving, getting excited about what we're doing, answering questions, and being prepared. So when the game time rolls around, everything can become second nature. I want to prepare better than anyone, and then I want to have every single player add one big thing to their game. And what I mean by that is something, no matter where you're at in your skill set, I want you to add something to your game that you're going to take with you to high school and to college. You're going to remember that AAA and that single A season that you'd added that one piece to your game. And then finally, most importantly, I want to have more fun than anyone. This comes naturally to me because I love baseball so much and I have so many games and things to keep things fun up my sleeve. But I want to make sure that we learn the personalities of our teams, and we have absolutely more fun than anyone. All right, now logistics. Let's jump into some things that are important to be thinking about. Equipment. Let me hit the basics real quick. Yes, have a glove. Yes, I highly recommend a bat. Cleats, no metal spikes. Your glove, if you're buying a glove for the first time tomorrow at 20% off day at Dick's, make sure it at least feels like leather. You know, at some point you go so low in the pricing threshold, we're all on a budget. One of the places you probably don't want to skimp too much is that glove. Because they're going to take it with them several seasons, and you want them to be able to take care of it too. It's gonna show, and you want to have a good size to it as they learn to get more control over that glove. You don't want to get something too small. So, spend a little bit of money. You don't need to go buy a Nakona or an A2000 just yet. Although my son wants one, he ain't ready yet. So, but if you're buying a glove for the first time, that's something you want to look for. If you have any questions on that, let me know. Bat standards have changed. Many of you may already have a bat. It's, again, one of those things where you kind of get what you pay for. If you go too low down on the threshold, especially with these new kind of dead bats as they would be described, the performance suffers. You don't need to get the Ghost X, whatever the big bat is right now. But find something in the middle. Find something that your wallet can handle. There'll be plenty. If that's not in the budget right now, there's plenty of bats that we'll have available amongst our team that we can use. So that's not a priority. The priorities are glove and cleats right now, and then the things with the uniform. Well, one other thing, cups, protective cups. If you don't have a protective cup and a jock strap, get something that's comfortable. They got some good things out there. Go snag that tomorrow. Tomorrow's a good day to do that if you don't have one already. Uniforms, as I mentioned, great. We're going to go gray pants if you want to do the piping down the side. I think it'd be sharp if everyone got them. They're a little bit more expensive when we do that for everybody. So piping down the side will be black. Everything's going to be black and gray. Black and gray. So black socks, black belt, gray pants. And snag an extra cheap pair of pants because let's practice like we play. Let's have gray pants once the weather starts warming up and we don't have to wear layers and sweatpants and everything, ready for practice as well. Have 2 pants ready to go. All right. Something that's important to check out is we got rainoutline.com. Rainoutline.com. I'll send you a link in the email. Is a good place to stay in tune with what's going on with the county. The county is who dictates whether or not we're going to play on a rainy weather day, and so that gives you real-time updates for the fields that are relevant to us. I'm going to send you that information out as quickly as I can via email or however we communicate. Rainoutline.com is going to let anyone that you want in that communication thread to know real time what the deal is. Are games a go? Have they been canceled? Now, I'll also send you a link to a medical release form and a concussion form. This is a form that the league puts out to make sure that everyone's insured and covered. That includes the coaches and the league itself. I ask that you fill that out as quickly as possible. Let's be the first team to get everybody in. Just take a few minutes to get it in. And I believe the best way to do that is going to be to print it off and to just give it to me directly. I'll hand it to Tracy Fitzgerald, and we'll be done with that. And let's see here. And spring break. So spring break and practices, this is a good time to talk about that. Right now, you can go to our team page. I'll send you a link to each team's team page, and you can see what our practice schedule is. First games start April 9th. Between now and April 9th, there's going to be nothing but practices. You can take a look now at what we have. I have 3 practices for each team scheduled during spring break. What I did is, those are all optional practices. We'll probably make them unique in what we do in those practices, maybe focus on just catching or just pitching, something like that. But I'll send you more information. We may use all those dates. We may use none of those dates. It really depends on the team. But you can look on the team page now and start marking your schedules. If you have any questions about locations, there are maps, but you can also send me a text or email. All right. This is maybe the most important thing. It's the volunteer push. You're going to have coaches dedicating a lot of time to our players. And one way you can repay or just do your small part is first, everybody, whether you end up volunteering or not, everyone fill out that volunteer form. Just fill it out, because you might volunteer another time in the future, and when you've already filled a volunteer form, they've already done the background check on you. It ends up being cheaper for the league, and you can kind of just jump in and fill out the refresher form and be good to go. So everyone fill it out. Now, I've had a couple people already reach out, excited to either one say, hey, I've got some baseball background. I wasn't sure if I can commit, but I'd love to assist. Awesome. Looking forward to meeting you and looking forward to working with you. I've also had some people say, I haven't been around baseball, but I'm kind of fired up to see what's going on and want to be part of the coaching staff. Awesome. Can't wait to meet you. You're going to learn a ton along with your player. And we're going to have a great time. So we'll talk more. For those that are ready and willing to coach, I'll take as many as we can. Like I said, keep them moving. We can run a ton of drills. The more coaches we have, and the more voices our players hear in different aspects, you never know what's going to communicate to them. The other places that I could really use your help, and the league can really use your help, is one, game coordinator. This is a fun position that allows you to be basically involved as much or as little as you want. Game coordinator, their job is to be there as a resource for our youth umpires. They have other jobs, but be there as a resource for the youth umpires when there's a tough decision to be made. Maybe it's the weather. Hey, was that a lightning strike? Yeah, that was a lightning strike. We need to be on pause for 30 minutes, or yeah, we need to cancel this game. Or when there's an irate coach, and I know we have no irate coaches in this league, so we probably won't need to worry about that, but just in case, there's this voice of reason that it's understood when the game coordinator takes control, all bets are off. And so it allows you to just be a resource for that youth umpire to make a decision when a decision needs to be made and it can't be made on the field. And so with that in mind, game coordinator didn't come into play one single time with any of my games last year. They do sometimes. So what that means is, hey, come to the Mountain Conference with us and then go back in the stands and just enjoy the game like everybody else. It's a great position because of how important it is, but how low-key it is and how easy it is to serve the team in that way. The other thing is team umpire. Now, I'll take a couple team umpires if we can, but awesome way to learn the game of baseball if you haven't had it, or to give back to the game of baseball if you're familiar with it. No skill required at all. Last year, I had a team umpire and did not use him one single time because every time there was a crew out there, we just didn't need them. So again, 99.9% of the time, you don't need them. But we are the home team, we need to be ready to have a field umpire, and that's, hey, call the guy out if he's out at first base. Our guys are still young. There's no pressure. Go out there, take the best seat in the house out in the middle of the field, and be a resource for the league. There's other places that you can help out, whether it be concessions, but for this team, those are the big things that I can use your help with, along with coaching. All right, enough of that. By the way, I will be sending a link in that to the volunteer form if you can fill that out. Awesome. Finally, open communication. I know we have some travel ballers out there at both levels, I believe. Communicate with me if there's some pitch stuff going on, or there's some pitch counts and things you're planning on doing on the weekend. Let me know. Just keep open communication so that I can serve you guys in that way, and you can also serve the team by allowing us to be prepared as prepared as humanly possible. All right. I have a note here to talk about practice rhythm, but the practice rhythm is whatever the weather lets us do. Last year, we had unbelievable. I had the worst luck with rain. We had only played 9 games. We had to scrap together even to get 11. And we had so few practices, it was a bummer. So we're going to try to just make the most of our time while we can. We're going to try to start on time, and we're going to try to use our time that we're allotted as long as daylight will allow. All right, last thing, we have some homework. Homework for A-ballers and AAA alike. I got 2 things for you that I need you to accomplish between now and our first practice 10 days from now. Number 1, I want you to go on with your parent to YouTube. I don't want you to necessarily find your favorite player, but I want you to find a player that has a swing that you look at it and you're like, that swing is sweet. I want to do something like that. Now, whether it be Mike Trout or Albert Pujols or Josh Donaldson, whoever it is that has a swing that you just love, check out their swing. There might be a video where they got a swing breakdown or slow motion, or just check out some highlight videos. And then pick one thing from that swing that you want to add to your swing, something you want to be able to do, whether it be getting that leg locked up front or the hip rotation, whatever it is, wherever their hands are. Find one thing that you like about that swing and that you want to add to your swing. And then 2, I want you to make a list of 3 goals that you want to accomplish for the season. Now, that goal might be, I want to catch a ball in the air for an out. I want to turn a double play. I want to get 3 hits in a game. I want to pitch an entire inning and get everyone out without having to exit the game. I want to get a ground ball and throw a guy out at first. I want to get a double. It doesn't have to be one thing, but I want to pitch 10 innings. I want to play every single position once. Whatever it is, find 3 goals, write those things down. Mid-season, we'll take a look at them. At the end of the season, we'll see how we did. All right, so go find a player who's a swing you love. Find one thing you like about it that you want to add to your swing, and then make some goals for the season. Timber Rattlers, River Bandits, I'm super fired up about the season. I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody. I'm looking forward to meeting the players that we got to coach with last year, especially over the AAA, and also looking forward to meeting all the parents and kind of building a little community over the next few months. Speaking of community, one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw you a link of what I think are fair-priced shirts for the Timber Rattlers and River Bandits. Let's order some shirts. Let's deck out our stands with River Bandits and Timber Rattler gear, and have the best fan base in Loudon South this year. So I'll throw you a link there and order some for your family and whatever else, and we'll stock up. So, guys, thanks for bearing with me through this 19-minute and 24-second video. I'll add some more details in the email. If you have any questions, reach out to me anytime. Talk to you guys soon.